My name is Liz Rains, and I started the Portland New Generations Rotary Club. It's a Rotary Club that's focused on younger members. And the reason why I started this club is because I came from a club down in Southern California called, at the time, La Jolla New Generations, which is now called San Diego Coastal. And I had a wonderful experience in that Rotary Club. Wonderful people, really young energy. And I knew when I moved home that I really was looking for something similar to that. I spent a lot of time in Portland right when I moved back, visiting with other Rotary clubs, trying to get that feel and get that energy in the other places, but never really found it. So I knew that if I was going to find the Rotary club that I desired so strongly, I would just have to start it. So that's when the idea of Portland New Generations came about, was that I wasn't able to find the right fit for me anywhere else. So I thought, why not start it? It's not all easy, which is one thing that we want to make sure people know. Our Rotary Club took about 2 years to form, and the first initial step was to find Rotarians that were interested in helping with this. I went directly to the district and said, how can you help me build this? And they were very wonderful and very supportive, and also very excited about this idea. So they recommended me to connect with the district governors, the assistant district governors, as well as other Rotarians that were local in my area who might know people that would be interested in joining Rotary. That was a huge help. So that was the first step. We promoted heavily at district events, got information into our district newsletters, and basically started talking to every single person we knew about Rotary. And it started with just me at conventions, at the bus stop, even at the mall, if you can believe it or not, talking to people about Rotary and trying to find out ways that we could involve people in Rotary. I invited everyone from my workplace and then their friends, and before you knew it, we had enough people to start meeting. We put together forms for people to fill out just to get basic information, but we really needed to gather enough people before we could charter our club. So Rotary International has a great forming new clubs manual. All the information can be found at RI, I believe, ri.org, or the Rotary International website. They've got a great packet with all the information you need. And the most challenging part is gathering all the signatures. So that took about a couple months by the time we got our board put together, which also took some time. So the whole process probably took us, I'd say, 8 or 9 months before we could even get prepared to be chartered. And that meant forming a board, making sure the board was educated enough about Rotary, picking all the board positions, which was a huge challenge, educating everyone about their positions. From there, we were able to then assign actual tasks out to people, which made a huge difference. A lot of our club success was based on the fact that we recruited people that we knew would be wonderful fits for the club. I looked specifically for entrepreneurs, for marketing individuals, for people that had a good background in business in the Portland area. We looked at the MBA programs in town. We looked at other social clubs that might be looking for people of more of a service draw. So we spent a lot of time looking for that specific individual. And then once we got our base, we were able to just let it launch. And from there, we've been able to open up and let as many people in who want to join. One of the things that we focused on pretty heavily in the beginning was the vision. And the vision was to bring together a club that was active, young in spirit, that were passionate about our community, and that wanted to be in a very active community. That was another big piece to what we were doing. We knew we wanted to have it in a specific time frame so that we wouldn't be killing people's lunch hour or early morning work hours, because that can be really hard for younger professionals. And that natural fit seemed to work pretty well for the individuals that we were recruiting to the club. And it was great for us particularly because there weren't any other clubs that were really doing exactly what we were doing. So we had our own niche, which made a big difference within the district. So I think that really helped. But that's another great question too. Is your community one that could really support a New Generations Rotary Club? That's a great question to ask. Do you have enough young people in your community that would be interested in doing some sort of similar format to this? And if not, maybe it's just an addendum to a club that's already formed. There's lots of different ways to involve young professionals in Rotary, but for our Portland community, this was the one that worked really well. Our meetings are really fun, which Most meetings are fun. Ours do include a nice happy hour. So we meet right at 5:30. Everyone comes for happy hour, beer, wine, appetizers. We start our meetings right at 6. We typically have a regular scheduled Rotary meeting with President's Notes from 6 to 6:30, and then a guest speaker from 6:30 to 7. So that's pretty typical in the Rotary world. What makes ours a little more unique is we're a very fast-moving group. We do projects fast. We travel fast. We work on things fast. Our club has had the unique opportunity to already have 2 travel abroad trips in less than a year. We are in the process of funding our first international grant in our city of Portland, Oregon. We we have huge networks. So we do a lot of our work online. A lot of our information is put on Facebook and put on our website. So we're able to attract members that way. So it's sort of a unique opportunity when it comes to Rotary to be able to do so much of it online. We also try and do our best to plan really fun, unique experiences for people. So, instead of maybe doing a project where we're stuffing food or whatever the case is, we'll go out and we'll trim rose bushes. We really try and come up with unique opportunities that people couldn't necessarily do on their own time. But we oftentimes find ourselves doing projects that are similar to other clubs as well. We listen to our members. We want to know what they want from us, and we deliver on that. I think Rotarians on every level should be welcome in the new generation format of clubs. I know for our club, we do have quite a few older Rotarians actually, and they're Rotarians that were in other clubs that had loved their experience, but for whatever reason needed to move and switch their membership and came over to us. And it has been an invaluable experience for us because we learn so much from them. They're able to give us great ideas. They bring a whole entire network of Rotarians with them oftentimes. They know a lot about the foundation, they know about service projects, they know about international development in Rotary, as well as huge projects going on in the world. So I think that for us, yes, absolutely. We always say everyone's welcome as long as you're young in spirit. There's definitely challenges when it comes to having younger members. People are going back to school, they're moving jobs, they're changing jobs, they're coming up with different career opportunities regularly. So that is a challenge that we have. And so our retention has stayed pretty flat in terms of member growth. We will induct 5 members, but then we'll lose 5 members. And so it's always a challenge. But my role in Rotary is to really make sure that people get a flavor of it. So oftentimes people will leave our club, but they'll head to another club. So we might not necessarily be losing them out of Rotary International, but we'll be losing them out of our club. We've done a good job, though, to make sure that people are well aware of different opportunities that they have if they are leaving our club. So that's one thing that's been really positive. A few other challenges are time. We're busy. We're really busy. And sometimes we can't get off to get here. We work. So that's always been a bit of a challenge, but we're flexible. Sometimes we'll have members showing up right at 6 o'clock. It's not a problem. We just want people here. We want hands to serve, and we want to be able to promote service above self as much as we can. So we do try and keep that as a flexible option for our members. Another challenge is financials. Many times people have a tough time paying. Our dues are $60 a month, and that covers all their food and all their membership. But we do try to work with people. If we do know that there's a member struggling, we go out of our way to set up a plan that works for them because, again, we want people here. So we are flexible with that as well. But we do encourage people that are joining our club to know all about what we're doing, why we're doing it, how much it costs, so they're well aware in the beginning. For our Rotary Club, we started off meeting once a month. So we started that for about 3 months. After meeting once a month, we went to meeting twice a month. And then after meeting that, we just kept beefing up the meetings so that people got used to the rhythm of weekly meetings. And by the time we had chartered, we were meeting every single week. So that really helped us to develop our membership. It's challenging to ask people to start meeting all of a sudden every single week when they haven't been involved with anything like this before. Once it's established, it's a little bit easier. But for us, we really started off slow and worked our way up into meeting every single week. And it was helpful, for us financially because we were in the process of trying to figure out the best way to go about paying for meals and so forth. But then also it helped us to really dial people into understanding the Rotary process of meeting every single week. Selecting a board is it's a very interesting process because it's people that, for the most part, don't know much about Rotary. Many of them have never served on a board before, and there's a lot to know about a Rotary board within the actual board itself, but then also within the position structures. So the secretary has very specific jobs, as well as the treasurer, as well as the service chair, the international service chair. So I spent a lot of time meeting individually with board members to share experiences that I'd had in within my Rotary board back in La Jolla. So I think one of the biggest challenges is just making sure that everyone knows enough about their position, and then also on top of that knows enough about Rotary to be able to perform their position well. The vision actually came from the club. It didn't come from me. I sort of laid a framework that I thought would work well, but we sat a big portion of the board together and we said, what is this club about? What does this club mean for you? And so that's how the vision started. We talked at a very high level. We had a fantastic marketing manager who helped us put together our vision statement. And he asked really high level questions. Who are we? Why are we here? What are we doing? And from there, we were able to build the vision that you see today as Portland New Generations. We wanted to make sure that we're a Rotary Club, and a Rotary Club has certain rules and regulations that we need to follow, and we do. But there's other things that we wanted to make sure we were able to do for our members. We only require members to meet 50% of the time, which has its challenges as well, but we find that the majority of our members do come. And if they're not able to make a meeting, they'll make it up somewhere else, or they'll come to a service project, or we create other opportunities for them to receive makeup. So that's been fine. We also have looked at different things that Rotary International has said regarding our membership policies and so forth, and we do follow those as closely as possible, as well as through all of our financials as well. We uphold all of the rules that Rotary International asks us to. One of the fun things that we do that's a little bit different is we try and plan service meetings and outings during our regularly scheduled meeting time. So that's really helpful for us because it gets people down, it gets people doing something fun, something different. So that's one of the unique features of what the New Gen clubs do. Some other clubs do that as well, but for us, it's been a really successful part of our meeting experience. I would say number one, find an awesome Rotary mentor. When you got Rotary mentorship, you're able to do so much more because you know what's going on. They're able to provide a lot of access to different Rotary opportunities for you. Also, find a great sponsoring club. For us, we're so fortunate to have Rotarians from our sponsoring club show up almost every week, which has been a huge, huge, huge benefit to us. And we're so fortunate to have them. I'd also say keep plugging along. It takes so much time. These things just don't happen overnight. Like I said before, our club took almost 2 years by the time we were fully running and functioning, and we're still working on different foundations for our club, different processes. So it's constantly changing. But my recommendation would be to just keep working on it until you are able to be successful and get past that first year, which is really the launch year. Second year, it's all smooth sailing but that first year, really just making sure everyone is educated about Rotary, taking the time to do that, sending your members to as many district events as possible, as well as just creating an environment that's fun. If it's fun, people are going to come. And so if you're able to do those types of things, I think you'll be a very, very, very successful Rotary Club. So in terms of finding a mentor, I went straight to our district. I asked our district governor, who do you think should sponsor us? And he said, I have a list of about 5 people I think would be great. So I made appointments with those 5 people and took them to lunch and said, how can you help me? What do you think I should do? And do you think this is a good idea? After receiving support from those people, I knew that we had the mentorship that we needed, and they were really instrumental in the beginning of our club. And one ended up joining. So, to give you a perfect example, our past district governor, Dick Ellicksman, who's a wonderful friend of ours, he loved the idea so much that after meeting with me once, he knew he was going to join. That was great. Our charter event was very unique, and it was probably more different than any event we've ever done with our club. We wanted it to be very special, and we wanted it to be a unique experience that really splashed into the Portland Rotary community. We were able to invite our Rotary International Zone Director, Ken Boyd, who came up. Our Portland Mayor spoke at the event as well, and then we also invited many guests from our community. So we had quite an interesting profile of people there. All of which who were passionate about helping us to get started. We had a huge showing from our district as well. I think we had over 125 guests at the event, which was a really special thing for a Monday night. We dressed up, and we really wanted to show that we're serious, and that we are here, and we are Portland New Generations to make a difference in our community.